This is how to change careers without losing money. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 steps that you can follow to make a career change without taking a pay cut. This is Career Interrupted. I'm Shauna, and I want to help you get the job of your dreams no matter your race or where you're from. This is the career channel for professionals who value diversity and inclusion. If that sounds like your thing, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified of any new videos. Byron was a marketing manager for about 10 years. He worked for a large, privately held company, and he enjoyed a great salary and a great benefits package. Over time, he grew frustrated and exhausted by corporate politics. He knew he no longer wanted to work in a corporate environment, but he did not know how to get out. He wasn't sure where to start with any of it. Byron was so concerned about losing the lifestyle that he had because of his great corporate marketing job's salary and benefits. What would you do if you were Byron? Okay, I will wrap up that story at the end of this video. Lots of people will stay in a field that they're no longer enjoying because they're afraid they won't be able to replace the salary and benefits that go along with that job. They're afraid that changing fields will have a real negative impact on their earnings. This sort of combination and problem, well, it usually persuades people to stay exactly where they are in the same field, in the same company, because they're afraid to lose that money. As a result, staying put seems like a much more viable option than looking for a new opportunity. Despite what people think, there are ways to make a career change without taking a pay cut. You should never have to sacrifice your overall mental health and happiness for your salary. Almost half of people will actually change careers at some point in their life. After all, people change themselves, right? They have changes in their own value systems. They might move from being single to having a family. All of those things that happen and change in our personal lives can have impacts to what we value in our professional life. When those values shift and when the lifestyle that we want shifts, it can mean that you're in a career that you feel mismatched, like that career was for the old you. For some people, changing careers is absolutely going to mean a pay cut. But for others, it's going to be completely reasonable to keep a similar level salary. A lot of this depends on the type of career move that you're making and why you're making it. Before making a career move, it's really important to decide what it is you actually want your life to look like. What kind of lifestyle do you want to live? What kind of hours do you want to work? Where do you want to live? These are all really important questions that we need to get the answer to before we can successfully make the career change. After all, if we don't know what that end goal is, it's going to be really hard to achieve it, let alone celebrate success when we get there. If you're struggling to articulate what that next step should be for you and what that goal is, make sure you check out my video on finding career clarity, and I will link to that in the description. Okay, here are 5 steps to change careers without losing money. Byron, I hope you're watching. Set clear goals. If your main objective is to make a change without losing any money at all, you got to start by doing the proper research. You can check out a number of sources online. You might even consider conducting some informational interviews with people you know in your targeted field to get the information about pay and benefits so that you're fully informed going into that. If you want to conduct an effective informational interview, make sure you check out my video on that topic, and I'll link to that in the description. As far as online research goes, make sure that you check out Glassdoor's salary discovery tool. It is crazy good and effective and easy to use. This is a great starting point to get you line of sight into the pay rate of the field that you're targeting. Create a list of jobs, industries that have the salary that you need to meet your money objective. You may need to get a little bit creative here. For example, if you've been working a high-paying corporate job, you probably can't transfer that same job title into a small, not-for-profit organization and earn the same level of salary. But If you look for perhaps a more senior role in a nonprofit where you're in a leadership job, as an example, you might be able to easily transfer that salary. All of this is going to depend on what your unique goals are, what's going to make you happy, and what is going to be aligned with the lifestyle that you are trying to achieve for yourself. As you can see with this example, being realistic and having clarity on what it is you actually want is going to be key to your overall success. Focus on transferable skills. The key to making an effective career change is by looking at the combination of your skills and experience outside the context of your past career path. You likely have nurtured and developed dozens of skills that are not specific to the career path that you've already followed and can be transferred to a new career path. So think about skills like this: empathy, dependability, teamwork, communication, organization, delegation, and the list goes on and on. There are probably endless transferable skills that you have built up over the years. It's your job to reflect on the skills and experience that you've got that line up with whatever that new career goal is for you. What transferable skills aren't covered in that list? Note them in the comments. Don't skip your cover letter. Since your resume is probably not going to highlight the specific new industry or role that you're targeting, your cover letter has a big, important job to do. Use your cover letter as a sort of personal narrative or essay that describes why you're making the career change and how the skills and experience that you have actually do align to this new field that you're targeting. Use your cover letter to highlight the transferable skills that are going to benefit this employer who is hiring you into a new job different from your last career path. In addition to writing a nice narrative about the transition and the value that you bring, another great tactic for your cover letter is to take the requirements of the position and your skills and experience and show the employer very clearly how you meet the requirements of their role. You can do this by putting a simple table in your cover letter, and it would say on one column, it would say your requirements, and the other column would say my experience. And basically, you would copy and paste any requirements from the job posting. You'd have to pick the top few and match up the experience that you have that aligns very clearly with that. Align your resume to the job posting. Be sure to find common threads between your past experience and what the job posting requires. When you find those threads, add them clearly to your resume. So one tactic that you might try is going through the job posting that you're applying to. Look at your resume. Is the job posting saying the same thing that you're saying in your resume, but only using some different words? Grab the exact language from the job posting and use that to describe your experience in your past role. The alignment between your past experience and the role will be much more clear if you're actually articulating those skills and experience using the same language. These connections will likely be related to some of those transferable skills that we mentioned earlier. If you're struggling with what should I include in my resume and what should I exclude from my resume, just go back to the job posting. Generally speaking, if it's not asked for in the job posting, that's something you can probably delete from your resume because it's not top of mind for the employer. Fill in the experience gaps. Okay, if you're pursuing a job in a new field, a new industry, it's possible that you're not going to meet all the requirements. So the challenge for you is, how do you fill in as many of those gaps as possible? This could mean really amping up the education section of your resume, for example, and highlighting specific coursework that you did that's aligned with the requirements of the new job. Maybe because you knew you were transitioning to this new field of work, you took some sort of volunteer opportunity. That's totally worth highlighting. Take that volunteer experience and make sure to explain it in greater detail and show how you've done some of the things that are going to be required of this new job. Don't be afraid to find creative ways to showcase why you are the perfect candidate for the new role. Byron started to work through a career clarity exercise, and he uncovered, yeah, for sure, it was time for him to make a career change. He learned that he wanted to do more work that made an impact, and he wanted to get involved in his local community to affect some positive change and improvements. He started to inquire on roles in the nonprofit sector. He looked at areas like economic development, newcomer programming, affordable housing. He learned that he could actually apply a ton of the skills that he had acquired throughout his marketing career to a leadership role in this sector. A lot of these positions called for things like strong presentation skills, an ability to write proposals for grants, relationship building. These were all key things that he had done in his past role. He worked on his research and ultimately he built a plan to exit his corporate job. It took him about 6 months to get the gig he was looking for because he knew he needed a senior level position to effectively change careers without losing his salary. Byron was able to achieve this by having clear goals, reflecting creatively on his past experience, and setting a plan. He wasn't expecting things to happen overnight. He recognized that it was going to take a little bit of time and intention in order to move forward and make the transition to a completely new industry without losing money. And he did it. Congratulations, Byron. And you can do this too. That is how to change careers without losing money. Make sure to subscribe. This is the career channel for professionals who value diversity and inclusion. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.